What's up everybody, welcome back to Double T Gaming. Hope everyone is having a great day today. And on this day, I want to just kind of remake that PvP video I put out last week before the launch of Bronzebeard. All the information in that video was made with what the website had listed about PvP in the server at that time. And to be honest, I didn't really like that video at all. I don't think it was well done at all. And now basically the entire video is obsolete because they pretty much completely reworked it from that version into something else entirely and released it a few hours before launch. As those last few days leading up to launch, apparently they really tried to focus in on world PvP itself. So with that being said, let's go through and take a look at how open world PvP works on Bronzebeard. But first, if you have not already, hit the like button, sub to the channel, ring the notification bell. I cover everything Classic Plus from Bronzebeard to Turtle to Epoch news, as well as anything Blizzard might have cooking up, or any Blizzard legal stuff they also have going on. And also join the new Discord, that link will be down in the description below. It's really just a casual way to just chat with each other, talking about general WoW stuff or each server individually or any other private server itself. Possibly we'll look to do some giveaways or something on that in the future, but it's really just an easier way to talk to you all without having to go through the YouTube comment section or the community post. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to Bronzebeard PvP. Now in terms of instanced PvP, that isn't covered in this article, but I'll touch on it real quick, some of the basics for it. One of the bigger questions I've been getting, yes, you can level in Battlegrounds, you do get experience for it. There are the normal vanilla Battlegrounds available, along with Twin Peaks and Temple of Kot Mogu from future expansions. Actual gear is bought with honor, and there's also an arena point system, along with the ability to queue for arenas and arena skirmishes. So the actual currency system for honor works similarly to how it did in future versions of WoW, like Wrath or Cataclysm, with your arena points, which is kind of equates to conquest points or whatever it is, and your honor points. There's just no BG marks. And after winning a battleground, at least for sure that first BG of the day, nets you a winner's cash. And for example, at level 12, when I won my first battleground, I was given a pair of blue pants and blue bracers, both originally dropped in RFC or Dead Mines, but just scaled down to my level. So you can level through PvP and you get pretty decent gear from it. But in terms of actual leveling PvP gear like Epoch has awarded from honor gain, to my knowledge that does not exist on the server at all in terms of instance PvP gear, or at least I couldn't find anything custom when checking vendors. But there is something called Bloodforged Gear, which we'll talk about in a second. But let's go ahead and focus in on the world PvP now. So everything on Bronzebeard is meant to take place on a single layer, but there are some weird phasing issues going on right now. Like yesterday, I was leveling off stream in wetlands doing the giant croc quest on the western coast. And if I was a few steps closer to the water, it would phase me out completely, but if I took a few steps back towards land, I'd get put back into the other phase, so I would be having to try and pull mobs that are across the phasing wall border into my phase to actually get credit for the kills, because they weren't spawning on the other phase. And this is happening in a lot of different areas. This was just the most aggressive version I've seen of it. People were just literally mounting up on that line, going back and forth, phasing in and out, going in different directions, and there's different mob spawns on each phase for it. I think this is an issue they're working on right now, or just trying to clean it up, but I think layering and phasing are two different terms in terms of the technical stuff, but we should all at least, at some point, be on the same layer. But there are still three options for PvP on Bronzebeard that can be toggled on or off in any rested area or town via the PvP rule set tab of your dungeon finder menu. So usually just the I hotkey or the little I symbol down at the bottom, you click the PvP rule set tab. So you have your PvE mode, where it's just PvE. Never have to worry about another player attacking you. You can still do instance PvP with this in arenas and battlegrounds. It's just your normal PvE mode, nothing to worry about. You then have War Mode. War Mode gives you a 10% experience bonus and flags you for PvP, and this behaves like your typical PvP mode in WoW, where you can just attack other players that are also flagged of the opposite faction. And all these risk styles are all on the same layer now. Previously, in the last version of PvP on Bronzebeard, that wasn't the case. If you were War Mode, you would only see other players in PvP mode. If you were PvE, you would not see PvP combat at all. But again, everyone can see everyone, and it appears as a buff on your screen what mode you are in. But also with War Mode, you have the ability to obtain new crafting materials from higher level creatures and gathering nodes. And with War Mode also, you can attack other War Mode players or players who are on high risk. Now high risk is the more adrenaline version of PvP. You get a 15% experience bonus, but if you die, you drop a chest containing a piece of your gear. Or if you can afford it, you lose gold instead. The more powerful gear you have, the more gold it will cost to ensure that you keep all of your gear when you die. And when I say die, I mean die to anything, whether it be a player, fall damage, or another mob. When you die, a chest will spawn on your body. And with high risk starting at level 15, you can obtain Bloodforged PvP gear. Again, high risk can get attacked from other high risk players as well as War Mode players, but only other players on high risk are allowed to loot the chest that you drop. And even if your gear is insured, you still drop a chest containing some random items. I was on high risk and I died because I fell into a bunch of murlocs after getting attacked by gnolls up top, and I lost a few silver in insurance for the gear. And on your character sheet, the C hotkey, it would actually tell you how much your gear is worth when you are in high risk mode. But after I died, I ran back to my body and I looted my own chest because nobody around me where I fell was actually in high risk mode, and I was given a bag and a few other greens. So you can loot your own chest depending on where you die if nobody gets to it first. But finally, we have Mercenary Mode. You could turn on Mercenary Mode through your spellbook, also starting level 15, and this flags you for free-for-all PvP. And I think the only main benefit for this is that you just have the opportunity to kill more high risk players, therefore getting more chests to drop for you. Basically, you can kill your own faction and you can kill the other faction. It's like you're in the Gurubashi arena at all times. For example, the other day I was questing in Darkshore and there was a level 20 human rogue running around as a mercenary killing other alliance players, and the server would notify you after someone dies saying there is a mercenary nearby, and it'll tell you the subzone that they are in, or just say they're nearby in Darkshore if they're just on the road. In terms of grouping with PvP, the server itself is cross-faction, but if you are in a group with someone in war mode and you are in PvE mode, you cannot aid them at all. You can't buff them, can't heal them, can't do anything to that war mode player, even if they aren't in PvP combat. And if you're like an alliance in war mode and you're grouped with a horde in war mode, and your horde buddy gets jumped by another alliance, you cannot assist them at all. In any instance of PvP, the opposite factions cannot assist each other or assist a mercenary. But mercenaries are free to group with other mercenaries and can assist each other regardless of risk style or faction. So basically, to sum that up, PvE players cannot help anyone in PvP. You also cannot help the opposite faction in PvP at all, unless you are a mercenary where you can help other mercenaries if you are in the same group. So to quickly touch on the crafting materials obtainable from being in a PvP mode, these are used for endgame crafting and are meant to be highly valuable for raiders. So if you do want to craft some of these new pieces that require some of these new mats, you need to risk it in war mode or high risk mode and go farm in Winterspring or the Plaguelands to get those mats, hoping you don't run into another player doing the same, or just have an understanding or whatever it is. But those are really the main points about world PvP. The Bloodforged gear obtainable while leveling is always going to be blue quality, and it's pretty strong overall, comparable or above the quality of dungeon loot at your level. And this gear can be bought and sold by players. So in the world chat all the time, you'll find people selling Bloodforged gear of like varying levels. There is some more information about heroic Bloodforged gear and level 60 Bloodforged gear as well, and these are obtainable strictly in high risk mode. And the heroic gear can be found in hidden caches, rare spawns, or the new beast nests, which is a new mechanic where you basically spawn a powerful rare that drops your heroic piece of gear. And level 60 Bloodforged gear, which is a level below heroic, is based on the level of your equip gear in tandem with the current raid release tier. And finally, also available for high risk is the Crow's Nest cache, and that will be coming out later this month. This basically alerts the server that a chest will be spawning in a high level zone, like maybe Winterspring or Ajara, and it will pop up on your map wherever you are in the world. And it's pretty much just a free-for-all PvP for high risk players to obtain that chest, containing gear up to the quality of the current tier as well. Now this is a feature on other Ascension servers, and based on what some people have said about it, it basically just turns into who can get the biggest group and then just kill everybody else around them and just camp the chest basically, which also happens in Gurubashi. But there are also areas around the world where you'll be given a buff, and I believe it's called honorable combat, where it's basically just 1v1 PvP. If you engage in PvP with another player, it's basically turned into a duel to the death and no one can help at all. That means no third partying, nobody can buff you, nobody can heal you, no one's attacking one player. It's just a 1 versus 1. I know the beginning portion of Ashenvale has this buff coming from Darkshore, and I'm sure there are several other areas that might be considered heavy on one faction just to avoid some issues of group ganking. So that's it. I know that was pretty informational, but I hope this answered some people's questions about PvP on Bronzebeard. It's basically an opt-in server. You can completely ignore it. You can still play PvE and raid no problem, but it just might take a little bit longer to progress in gear in comparison to somebody using the risk style. Or you could take that risk yourself, jump into war mode or high risk and get some crafting materials later on to help get some gear faster. Or you can just be a mega chad and go mercenary mode and just kill everyone you can. It's really whatever floats your boat. But again, I hope that cleared some things up. I hope you all are having fun on Bronzebeard. I've been having a blast. I'll leave a link to this full article in the description if you want to look over it yourself. I really just wanted to give you the most important pieces. But if I did miss anything regarding world PvP, please let me know down in the comments. I personally haven't gotten out of wetlands yet. I'm about level 28, so I haven't been in the heavier contested territories. So I've been just kind of chilling in war mode or high risk primarily for the XP boost. But I'm sure once I do get to Arathi or Hillsbrad, there will be a bit more PvP going on. But anyway, don't forget to hit that like button, sub to the channel, ring the notification bell to stay up to date on everything Classic Plus, as well as joining the new Discord if you want to just hang out and chat without having to do so through just YouTube. Of course, the link for that will be down in the description. Thank you guys for watching. This is Double T Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next video.